Hey guys, Amazon is holding Prime Days October 8th and 9th coming up, and that got me thinking. I don't think I've shared like an Amazon haul or kind of what I bought on Amazon lately, so I thought this would be the perfect time to share that with you. I have a number of items here around me in a few different categories, but I also want to share a few Prime Day tips with you, so stay tuned. If you don't already follow me over on Instagram, make sure that you go after this video and subscribe over there because that's where I share Prime Day deals. I promise you will not be bombarded with a ton of different deals. I only share things that I either do own, have owned, or am personally buying myself. So make sure you go over there and I will have deals on those days going through my stories to share with you. So the first thing I'm going to share is I think my home category of things I've bought, and this is from the last 3 months. First thing is a new immersion blender. I killed our last one. I use it all the time for things like soups and for canning, for tomatoes and apples and things like that. So I bought a new one and so far it's worked really well. It has like 2 different kind of speeds, but I like that the top actually comes off from the power base. So you don't have to worry when you need to wash the top about having like the base, the electrical there. It's super lightweight, but it is very sharp. And then I actually grabbed the box to show you because it comes with some other attachments as well. I haven't used them all yet. This is still fairly new, but it was really good deal for the price. I think there was a sale and a coupon as well. I'll link all these items that I'm sharing in the description down below if you're interested, or they're on my Amazon storefront as well. So yeah, this is by Peach Street. So far, it's worked really well. I'm hoping that the motor will last a long time. It seems like it's really well made and heavy duty and it had a lot of great reviews on it. So fingers crossed for this. Next, I needed some new cake pans. I had some round cake pans that were 8-inch and I just found that they're pretty old. I just needed some new ones and I wanted to get a little bit bigger. So I got these ones. These are 9-inch ones and I bought 2 of them. And I'll tell you why I went with these. One reason is the handles on both sides, especially as my kids start to bake more. It's easier for them to grasp when there's handles to go in and out of the oven instead of, you know, I used to all the time stick my thumb like in the cake or something. So I really like that. Also, do you see that pattern? It's kind of like what I would call a mermaid pattern maybe. But it's designed, or it's claimed that it helps to have the cake not to stick to the bottom. I always grease and flour my cake pans and so far it's worked amazingly well. Like even when I would grease and flour other ones, sometimes they would still stick a bit. This one did not stick at all and it's really well made. It's the Rock Wave, I guess is the brand. But yeah, these have been really well. They worked great and I'm hoping I will have them for many years to come in my kitchen. Next I have this laundry stain remover. I love the name. It's Mitts Melts Messy Eater Stain Treater. It's quite small. It's only 4 ounce or 120 ml. It's a little bit pricey. I saw this on Angela Braniff's channel. She recommended this and so far, yeah, it's worked really, really well. I've used it on like a few kind of general stains, but primarily I was looking for something to get stains off of white shirts, like around the neck and the arms for both my husband and the teenagers, and it has done the job. So I think even though it's a little pricey, it's worked quite well. I've used about that much and I've had it for almost 3 months. So definitely worth checking this little stain remover out. Next is another kitchen item. I needed a new cooling rack. I just found that the 2 I had was not adequate enough when I do really big baking days. So I got this and it's a 3-pack and it's a stacking one, but they're not actually attached. So you can do each individual one. You can do it just like this on the counter and it sits like that. Or if you need it higher up, you can do it like that and it will sit like that. Or you can have it open like this and stack 3 of them. And it's been great because it saves counter space when I can stack them, but it's given me the extra cooling rack with small storage. You know, it doesn't take a lot to store, but again, it gives me 3 full extra cooling racks, especially the vertical space, and it was really affordable too. So this was a great purchase. And then the next thing might be a little odd, but this is a hair spray bottle. It's one of those continuous sprays, so you just have to pump it a few times and it continuously sprays, so you don't have to pump every time. But I actually use this in the kitchen, and I use it primarily when I'm baking bread or something and I'm using parchment paper, because it can be really hard to get parchment paper to go into a pan and to kind of go along the edges, and then you put your product or whatever in. Whereas if you lightly spray it with water, it will go in so easy, but it's not wet enough that it affects what you're baking. So I keep one of these in the kitchen. It's just regular water in there, and it helps when I'm making bread and other things where I need to get parchment paper to fold into a pan or to fit a pan better. The last thing in this category is a Western food strainer, and I don't have it here with me, it's put away, but I'll show you some pictures and some footage of it. And I bought this primarily to use for tomatoes and for apples when it comes to canning, because we do such large batches of it. When the tomatoes are from our garden, I'm not really concerned about the skin and the seeds for most recipes. However, when it's coming from somewhere else and I'm buying tomatoes, I don't really want the skins on there. You're not supposed to can with the skins anyways. So we've always done like a blanching and then in cold water, and then take the peels off, take the seeds out by hand, and it's a really, really long process. This makes it so much easier. Now you want your tomatoes to either be like cooked a little bit, maybe you've frozen them and then thawed them, or really ripe, otherwise it is a bit more tricky. And I find you do have to run it through a number of times to get all that liquid out of there. But it has been a great investment. It has just made life so much easier. I'm not dealing with all the water and the ice and the heat, especially in the summertime. So it's been a big thumbs up from me, and we'll see how it works for apples coming in the near future. Moving on to like a health and personal category, I have used Glaxel Basé lotion for many, many years. Well, our whole family has, for face and neck. And I usually would just buy it at Walmart, but I found it's actually cheaper on Amazon, and then they have the subscribe and save, which saves you even more. So if you're not familiar with this, it's a very gentle, non-greasy, basic kind of formula, and I call it cream, but they sell a cream as well, which is much thicker and it is more greasy. You don't want to put that on your face, so make sure you get the lotion one. But if you use this, it's cheaper on Amazon, so check it out. So we got one of those. I think we're getting like one a month kind of thing. Another thing we got through subscribe and save now are these elderberries. These ones are the ones that my husband and I take. The kids take different ones because this is for adults only. They taste good. They have pretty simple ingredients. You're supposed to take 2 a day. Most of the time we take 1 a day unless we're sick, but that's another subscribe and save that we have found that we really like from Amazon. And then another thing, I have the box here, but I don't think it says, it just says spray bottle on it. These are glass amber spray bottles. So they have the little spray at the top. And it came with 3 of these glass bottles, a number of sprayers. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so 5 spray tops. Little filler thing, other way to fill it. And it also has some labels in here. I use this for, well, you can see I used it for all summer long for after sun spray when I had not been careful enough in the sun. I just keep this in the fridge. But the other bottles will be used for things like when I need to refill bug spray, kind of anything that I'm using essential oils for, or kind of want to make my own like concoction. It didn't clog at all, which is great. I used it all summer, like I said, and they're quite heavy duty bottles. They are 125 ml each. So yeah, I was really happy with this purchase, especially because they're glass, and I just like to put my essential oils in glass over plastic. The last thing in this category is a little bit different, and that's actually a treadmill, but it's not like a full-on big treadmill. It's a small one that is just the base. My husband primarily uses this. He uses it in his office, so he does walking while he's able to like type notes or do emails, and so he uses it quite a bit. I've used it only once so far. I will probably use it more through the winter as I'm not able to continue walking outside. Treadmills really aren't my favorite thing, but it was okay. It's very lightweight. It's like easy to use, easy to move. It's just really versatile. So that's been a good purchase for my husband and hopefully for me through the winter. And it's small enough that it's not like in the way, or it doesn't take up a whole bunch of space. So moving on to like the kids and the homeschool, my youngest son saved his money and he bought himself a watch. Let's see if that will focus. There you go. And it has both the watch actual setting. It has a camera, it has filming, it has music, it has some games. So it's kind of like an all-in-one type thing. He had, you know, the VTech cameras. He's kind of outgrown that. So this is a little bit more mature. Maybe I'll ask him if he can show me some of how to use it. It's got a USB plug in here for charging and for transferring things. But so far he is absolutely loving it. And yeah, he likes to take pictures, videos, editing, things like that. So this has been a really big hit. If you have a kid, he's 8. So if you have a kid around that age, maybe think about this as a Christmas gift. He has really enjoyed it. And it does function again as a traditional watch. So they can look at the time as well. It has both types of time on it as well. So if your child isn't reading a watch yet, there's this type as well. And it has the date, the month, all those things. So next, I think I shared these on Instagram when they came, but I got some better pencil crayons for our homeschool because my kids are kind of older now. I've got 3 teens, I've got a preteen, and I just felt like it was time to kind of get past the basic Crayola ones. So this was a 120 pack. So far it's worked really well. And it comes in this cute cylinder for keeping them, which is nice. So I can do that. It has a good range of colors and it's more of like just that professional quality. So this was a good purchase. Now likewise, I also bought alcohol markers. And as I said, again, when I showed them on Instagram, my kids are kind of past drawing on the walls phase. So I felt like we could do some more markers that aren't just the washable ones. My oldest has primarily been using these. He likes to do a lot of drawing and like anime and things like that, or manga, or I don't know, I always get them mixed up. He said though, they do dry a little bit different than like what the color shows. So keep that in mind. But so far it's been pretty good. The zipper did break already, unfortunately. But yeah, there's 88 ones plus a blender and it's by Shuttle Art. So far we've been pretty happy with that purchase. Next are these earphones that we picked up. They're from iClever, and I think we got them last time there was a sale, or maybe, yeah, there was some kind of sale. And Julie over at Mama to 5 had recommended these, and so I thought I'd give them a try, and so far they've been great. They're padded, and they have a limit to how loud they can go, which is always beneficial, I think, for kids' ears. This was a 2-pack, and they are adjustable. My 16-year-old has used them when other ones were not available, but I think he's probably like a little bit beyond. So I would say maybe up to like 13, 14 kind of for this size. And it came with this, what do you call it, like a jack. So you can actually use both of the earphones, but plugged in to listen to one thing. So if you have multiple kids, but you have 2 who are sharing something that they need to both listen to, or they both want to listen to music, they can actually listen to it together, which has been really interesting because sometimes my kids do. They want to listen to music, the youngest 2, so this has been helpful. But yeah, they've been great. This was the other color. You can see they've held up well. They're adjustable, like I said, they're soft, and they have that protection for the ears, so this has been a great purchase for us. The last 2 things in this category are actually related. My daughter recently had her 11th birthday, and if you're a Harry Potter fan, you know what that means. So I found a banner for her that was Harry Potter themed that said happy birthday, and it's kind of like a felt type material, but a little bit stiffer. It's kind of hard to describe. I was surprised with the quality. I felt like the quality versus the price was quite good. We're definitely going to be able to use it more than once, which is great because we have one more who will be turning 11 in a few years. And I was a little disappointed it didn't come like pre-strung. However, I get why they do that, so you can decide if you want like happy birthday on one string or if you want 2 different strings. So overall, it was a good purchase. We'll definitely use it again. And then the other part was my daughter wanted a Harry Potter costume. And so we found this one for you that I'll show you pictures of. And the quality is surprisingly good. It fits her really well. The sizing guides were pretty accurate. It doesn't come with the white shirt. You have to just keep that in mind because we had to get her a different white shirt, but she has absolutely loved it. She has been wearing it all over the place. So that was a major, that was a good gift for her, and I would recommend that if your kids like Harry Potter, turning 11, or they like to do dress up and stuff, it was a good purchase. All right, the last item I have for you is a book, which I feel like I've shared a few times, but it finally came, and it's Eating on the Wild Side by Joe Robinson. I really, really enjoyed this book, and I'm going to be spending my winter going through and looking at the different varieties of foods again, marking it, highlighting it, especially when I go to purchase my seeds. I want to have a lot of input from this book. So that's the last thing that I bought. This isn't everything we bought from Amazon. There's a few small things. There's like a few birthday gifts that I don't want to share, but this is most of the things we bought over the last 3 months. If you have any questions, you can leave it in the comment section down below, but I want to share just a few tips with you for Prime Day. I like to go ahead and either I keep a wish list all the time on Amazon, or I put things in my cart in like the save for later, and then you can go and check it on Prime Day, both the first and the second day, and it will automatically show you if it's on sale. So that way you're buying what you want, that you already know you want and you need, and it's an easy way to kind of find it, because I find it can be a little tricky to sort through all the sale deals. The other thing is to make a list ahead of time. With Christmas coming up, ask your kids to make wish lists and start looking at those wish lists and looking specifically for those items so that you're not overspending, but you are getting some great deals on Prime Day. Hopefully this finds you having a great day. Make sure you go and check out my Instagram and subscribe there, and I will see you guys on Prime Day. Bye.